Okay, so hello and welcome to the next episode of the CyberPotato. And today we'll be continuing our journey to explore basics of HTML. Yeah. Okay, so we will be starting where we left off in the previous episode. So I believe that's basically what we did. So we added an image. And today I would like to add a little bit more of HTML and some new tags, of course. So starting with the image has another very important attribute. It's called alt, A-L-T, and this is a string, so it's a part of text, and we can type here back to the future. And this tag is rather important for a few reasons. One is being if the browser can't actually get the image or display it, it will be replaced with this text. So you won't see an image here, but rather just the text specified in alt. Second reason is that when people have some sort of problems with seeing or disabilities, uh, there are special programs that read the content of the pages for them. And once that program finds an image tag, it will read the alt text for someone who has some disabilities. And the third reason is search engine optimizations search optimizations engines, yes, that's correct, use the alt text to crawl your site and find information about the content on your site. Okay, so it's always a good practice to add alt text to your image. Okay, moving on. We have a paragraph. What else can we add? We can add something like that. So often it comes to that you have to display some list on your site. For example, this can be a list of ingredients when you're building some cooking site. And for that, we have a list tag in HTML, and it comes with two types, I believe, or maybe more, but I know two. So UL stands for unordered list. So this list doesn't have any particular order, so maybe it's not the best list to use when you're trying to specify step by step, so in some kind of order, what to do when cooking a cake, for example. And so this unordered list, this is ordered list. And the difference is that by default will display a number before every single list item, and this I believe by default will display a dot. Okay, and how to actually specify a list item? You use li, like this item, you can tell, and I can tell that of course Michael J. Fox was playing that movie. Of course, Christopher Lloyd, I believe. Sorry, Leah Thompson, and of course Crispin Glover. Okay, so yeah, opening of the list, ending tag of the list. The same goes for the list item inside. So this is the children. List item is always a children of ordered or unordered list, and you can tell that and actually see that the HTML, as I told you earlier, is a tree by yourself, because you can fold and unfold HTML tags. Just need to hover next to the HTML in your Visual Studio Code, to the left of it or right of the line numbers, and you can tell that you can click on the pluses and minuses just to fold and unfold. And by that we can tell that the root of the HTML is actually HTML. Then goes the head and the body with its content. Here we have children of body, and then we can already see that we have UL with some children in it. So just to provide some terminology here, if the tag is on the same level as the tag next to it, these are called siblings. Okay? Then if the tag contains another tag, we have parent and children relationship here and here, because as you can tell, li is inside ul. And this terminology will become rather handy when we move into the stuff like DOM manipulation and dynamically created tags using JavaScript. But for now, just remember, siblings, parent, children. Okay, here and here. Okay, moving on. Oh, let me just show you how does it look like. Okay, so yeah, here, as I said, here, that is unordered list. You can see that it's already pushed from the edge of our screen a little bit. Okay, and if I change the tag to ordered list, OL, we should see, yeah, we can see the numbers here. So now it has some kind of order. Okay, moving on. Often it is that you click on some kind of image or text on site and you're taken to whole different document, and this can be done by anchor tag, and it actually is represented in HTML as A from anchor. And the most important attribute here is href, which stands, I believe, for HTML reference document, and it's actually the value of the link, so the place in the internet where you should be taken. And we can provide, for example, something like this. 88763, and we can actually specify the text for our link, and I will type more info about the movie. Okay, and now if we click on that text, we will be taken to the EMDB, which is database, open database for the movies, and to our Back to the Future movie. So we're being taken from the document that lives locally on our disk straight to the great and mysterious world of the internet. Let me see if it's actually working. Okay, yeah, here it is. And if I click on it, nice. I'm being taken to the site for the Back to the Future. Okay, it's all nice and dandy, but how about moving between documents in our local project? It should be rather easy, so let's create another document and we'll call it review.html. Okay, and I'm gonna just generate the standard HTML5 placeholder with HTML5 command. Just type HTML in Visual Studio Code and choose HTML5. And I'm gonna say it's a great movie. It's true. It's a fantastic movie. Okay, and now I would like to link from index to review. Let me just open to the site. So click with your right mouse button and choose open to the site to have them side by side. And I will just simply tell href review HTML, and I'm gonna say my fantastic review. Okay, and if all goes well, when we click on my fantastic review, we will be taken to this document instead. Okay, let's try that. Yes, yes, it's working. Fantastic. Okay, so that is how we can, how we can move between documents. Okay, let's add something really cool now. So in the assets, you will find a trailer MP3 movie file. And nowadays, our browsers are capable of running the movies straight into the browser on our site. And we have links, tags for that. So first, we'll specify video tag. And this tells the browser that it should expect a video link specified and some description how to actually play it. And we can specify two things here. We can tell the browser to display the controls for the video, and we can tell the width of the video container itself. And I will tell 300, and I believe this is in pixels, so it should be wide for 300 pixels. And here we specify a child tag to be source with source attribute, value pointing to assets, trailer, sorry. This is a static image, trailer MP4. Yeah, and we specify the type, the attribute of type to be video MP4. Okay, and we close the video, and that's it. So we have video tag with controls and width, and inside we tell that the source to play for that video is our file from assets of type video MP4. And let me check what happens here. Okay, we have something, and we can see that we have controls here. Okay, so standard slider, play, pause, volume, full screen. And yes, it works. Oh yeah, fantastic. And we can scroll and everything. Great. We can mute it, can go full screen. Okay, fantastic. About this little issue that everything is now displaying horizontally and not going from um, top to bottom, but rather from left to right. Guys, girls, take it easy. We'll find a way to change it. Don't worry. Okay, and the last thing that I'd like to discuss here is two things. Remember, two things. First thing is most of the time what we're doing is displaying stuff for the user, but there comes a time when we actually need some input from the user. And the most basic case that I can think of is, of course, providing a login form for the user to provide his credentials. Okay, and to take information from the user, we always use the input tag, where we specify what type we would like to display for the user, and we will start with the simplest one, so it's text. Okay, and we can even give it a starting value of login, maybe a placeholder. So we have an input tag where we specify attribute of type. As you can tell, there are many. The starting value for the input and placeholder. And placeholder is this information what users should type in to the input when there's no value. So let me just show you how it looks. Okay, here it is, the value. And if I don't provide any input, you can see this grayish login here that should inform the user what should he input here. Okay, there's of course, for example, another type. Let's do I don't know, color is fine, color is fun. Okay, and maybe input type date and input type checkbox. Okay, so as you live in the internet, you become familiar with many of those. Okay, so this is how it looks like. I don't know if I can show you. No, okay, now you can see it. Okay, this is how some inputs look like without any styling. So text, the color, okay, good old times of paint and now color exchange, the date that you can choose, and actually you can see that the values change, and the simple checkbox. Okay, so the last thing that I would like to talk to you about is most of those tags that we have here have some functions and have some semantics. So we know that P is for paragraph, H4 is when you're trying to show a header, image is for displaying images, videos are for videos, inputs are for inputs, and so on and so forth. But sometimes there are cases when you don't need a specific function, but rather you'd like to group some tags, for example, to change their position or to make them flow through your page different, or to give them a common, I don't know, background color, for example. And then you can use more generic tags. and I tend to use two for grouping, wrapping, and stuff like that. This is div tag that you can use to enclose some stuff, okay? And it's a rather popular solution. There's also span tag, and I tend to stick to the div. Span, sometimes I use it, but I try to think of it as a lesser brother of a div. So when I try to just wrap, I don't know, two things in one line, or I don't know, input and an icon, or just to add a little bit of touch to change the position, I use span. Most of the times to group stuff and to position it on the page, you will see me using div. So it's very important, and you will will see it a lot. Okay, I believe that finishes the basics of HTML. Yeah, we'll go to CSS in the next part. So see you.